Hey, how are y'all? So today we are going to talk about Wicked, 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 Wicked. I love Wicked, and I went to see it today, so I wanted to discuss it. I gave it a 5 star, 10 out of 10. It is amazing and dope, so I want to talk about it. My name is Diamond Styles, and I go live on Fridays at 7 usually. I haven't been live in a minute because I've been working, but yes. Yes, 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 yes. So happy Transgender Day of Remembrance. Well, yesterday. I had a good time. I went to a Soul Giving, which is like a Thanksgiving event here in Houston for Black Trans Empowerment Week. Um, What else? I just came from Albuquerque. I did a lecture at the Central New Mexico Community College there. And we did I did a trans history lecture for an hour, and it was so amazing. I had a good time. I think I'm gonna try to become a college professor, a adjunct professor. I think I'm about to go. I have enough credits to do it. I just to be an adjunct. um, I just have to decide what school I'm gonna try to go work at. Anyway, that is just me dreaming and thinking. Hey, Miss Poke. Hey, Jay. Hey, Darcel. How are y'all? Oh, gosh. So, what have I been up to? Oh, I went to New York. I went to New York I was in New York Monday. I was there for the launch of my Homegirls podcast, and it is called I'm gonna give y'all the link. Y'all can find it on all platforms, but this is the one that I have accessible right now. My iHeart one, but you can find it on Apple. It's called Monument to Mothers, and it is a 6-part podcast. So it's not like super long, but it's 6 parts, but each part is like 30 minutes. And it kind of goes through my homegirl is an artist. She does sculptures, and so she just got commissioned to do a sculpture for to be installed in Prospect Park in New York. And because of this, she wanted to kind of roll it out in a certain way. She's not finished with it, but it's coming. It's going to be launching this spring or next summer. I can't remember, but she wanted to do a podcast about how she was inspired to do what she's going to do, which is going to be a monument to caregivers. The sculpture is about caregivers. And it's going to be like 15 feet. It's going to be huge. She's an artist, so that's what she is. And so she interviewed a bunch of people about motherhood and caregiving and how that all um, works. Just not how it works, but just how we need to have monuments to mothers, because in opposed to monuments to like men. And so the first episode is called Men, Men, and More Men, because it explores like the monuments that we have in this country, the monuments about war and accomplishments in conquering and war and blah 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 blah. And so just breaks it down, like how most of our monuments is about like conquering things and war and stuff like that. So she wanted to do something that was more about love and caregiving and celebrating motherhood and celebrating um something else. Hey, Miss Mocha. And so because she wanted to celebrate something else, she wanted to do mothers, and so she interviewed people who were mothers in an expansive way. Not just someone who birthed children, but just people who are mothers of all kinds in a more expansive way. And so I was one of those people. And we had an amazing conversation about my mother, about my mothering other people, and being a creative, and how mothers around me influence my work and all that kind of stuff. So make sure y'all check it out. I think it's amazing. And so, yeah, that's what it is. Um, can we talk about the body you've been serving? You seen we've seen the swimsuit. Oh yes, I'm a little luckily, as I had prayed for, I didn't get really, really skinny because, I like being a juicy honey. I don't want to be skinny, but I have lost a cute, simple, where the body is still giving thick and cute, but you just can see a waistline, which is my favorite. um, but yes, I'm down to like not one nothing, 260, and I started off at 340. I was 340 pounds, and so I'm down to 260. My goal weight was between 230 and 250, and I have been at 260 for like a month now, like probably like over a month. So I think I have plateaued. So if I want to get down further than what I am now, because I haven't gone up or down in like a month, and it's been about a year, a little over a year since my surgery, and that's normal. When you get the surgery, they tell you when you hit that year mark, it kind of plateaus, and that's going to be your mark, unless now that you've got the help to lose the weight, now you go to the gym and then get further down. It's going to get you to a certain point. And so that is what I think I'm at my plateau mark, because I haven't went down and I haven't went up. But idealistically, I'm a size 16, 18 right now. 18 is a little bit big. 16 is like just right. I can get in some 14s, depending on how I can put them on. Because sometimes if it's a little stretchy, or if it's a little like an exact 14, no, but a stretchy 14, I can still get it in a 14. It's gonna be tight as fuck. But 16 is gonna be like super comfortable. 18 is gonna be a little bit big, but still fit, that kind of deal. So so yeah, that's where I'm at. Idealistically, I would love to just be in a very comfortable, just switch it down one more size. So if 16 is my comfort, and 18 is like, ooh, cool, and 14 is tight, switch it down just one size. Make 14 be my tight, and 16 be my cool. Yeah, so um yeah, I don't want to be anything under a 14. No. I want to be actually 16 would be like, I feel like that's my that's my weight when I was perfect to myself. When I was like in my early 30s, and I was just juicier, like that kind of 30-year-old juice you get. And it was like, ooh. Because I didn't like what I was in my 20s. I was too skinny in my 20s. It gave me dysphoria. When I got in my 30s, I got into my, you know, that progesterone said, ah, turn you into a woman, baby. And so it got me a little the juice that I like on a woman. And so yeah, so in my 30s, like 33, 34, that was my perfect size. And so I want to get back down to that, which was like 230, 240, which was like a size 14, 16. But yes, thank you for noticing. Have I been noticing the fashion? That's what I can't do nothing about the body. But the fashion is what I've been playing with, because I've been posting more fashion stuff, just because, I've always been a fashion girly, but I just never really showed it as much I've been showing now because I don't know, it feels kind of weird. It feels kind of I don't know. There's something weird about it on a political. There's something weird about it. Can you review Gladiator? I haven't seen Gladiator. That was something that I was gonna wait to come out on like TV. But Gladiator, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna see it. Um, but yes, so I don't have any children. Um, and when I get around people who do have children, the responsibility of children, and we are talking about life stuff, sometimes it feels kind of weird when I'm talking about fashion stuff. Like, let me give you an example. So I went, why I haven't been doing lives is because I've been kind of just traveling a lot, and I went early November to help my brother babysit. and and they are up there in this amazing, beautiful home, and they are just living like the American dream, like this with this. It's him and his wife and their two boys, and they have this amazing home in the middle of Ohio. They like it's just like an amazing little American dream. It's just so nice. You know what I'm saying? It's just a beautiful home. Like the biggest home that anybody in our family that I know has had in regards to like our branch of the family. Um, and so it's just like a nice ass house. And so me being there, we were talking about stuff, but baby, when I'm talking to when you talk to them about what it takes and what's happening, they don't have no joy. They have to work. Like the reason why I had to come up there is because the mother had to travel. Their normal babysitter, which is her mother, the grandmother, she had to travel as well. And my brother had to work, and he could not take off while she traveled for her job. And so he had to work. So they asked me to come up there and help them with the children for the week. Um, and they literally have to work. They don't have enough money to do kind of travel and stuff. They don't really, and then stuff is getting high. Childcare, they got two young kids, a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. And childcare is high as hell. Like they paying fucking school tuition for childcare. They are they really are like not struggling in the sense of like um so it feels it just feels like they're just working to pay bills, and that's a it's a struggle. So me coming in there as a single person with no kids, and I'm talking about traveling, and I'm a working class person. I'm not wealthy at all. Um but I just don't have those kind of bills. You feel what I'm saying? So in my brain, when I'm talking about stuff like that, it feels like capitalistic. It feels kind of weird. One of my friends saw you in Philly and was asking me if it was you or not. I'm like, is she dressed in high Afro whimsical attire? He said, in a blue ombre sequence dress that sounds like my girl. A blue ombre sequence in Philly. I don't. That probably wasn't me. I don't remember being in Philly. When was I in Philly? That's sweet. Mia is your daughter, or not really? I don't know what me and Mia's status as I don't know what we are. She was my daughter when we were friends. I don't know. I haven't talked to Mia and nothing happened between us. So um I don't know what's going on with me. So I don't know what she is. But I haven't talked to her. So I don't know what's going on with Mia. I haven't talked to Mia in probably like 2 years. What else? It's a stall. Yes, yes, Jenny. How did your surgery go? Didn't you just have surgery? And so, um, if I felt it feels like another situation. Um, hey Ty, how are you? Um, Another situation is like it felt like 2020. Like in 2020, 2020 was a fire ass year for me. Even though COVID was happening, as far as coins, it was a fire ass year. And so everybody was talking about how they were struggling and stuff was happening. And I was feeling kind of guilty because I wasn't struggling at all. It and so I'm just not. And so it feels kind of weird, but um I just got back from seeing Wicked, going again tomorrow dressed in my greenest green. I did my Glinda today. So this was my version of Glinda, my pink. And so when I go and see it again, I'm gonna do my green. I'm only gonna go see it twice because that's all the money they're gonna get from me. I'm gonna go see I just seen it today and then I'm gonna go see it again, probably later on in the weekend, just to make sure their numbers is being counted. Um, I'm trying to think. A blue ombre sequence dress. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't. I had a green ombre. It went from green to gold sequence dress, and I wore that at the Spark Gala in San Francisco. But I don't remember a blue sequence? I don't think I have a blue sequence. A blue sequence dress. Oh, I might have been green. It might have looked blue under the light. Maybe. Yeah, if it was in San Francisco, yeah, he probably saw me there. I have a video of it on my Instagram. I have short blonde hair and it's green. I was doing an emerald because of Wicked. I was doing an Emerald City theme I said, "Ooh, I must do. I'm gonna look like I'm gonna go to an Emerald City vibe," and so I did the green and gold. It does give a little real, yeah. I was giving that, yeah. Then he probably seen me at the Spark event. That's where I wore that dress. That dress was $80. Isn't it beautiful for $80? I got it made at on this website called Ishakti. They're based in Bangladesh. Um, they're based in India, and they take your measurements. Like they make you measure yourself all over, and then you send them all your measurements, and they'll make you a gown custom to your body, and you can make it long, short, arms long, arms short, back out. You can make it however you want to make it. And so they did the dress for me. How do you spell that? Ishakti, Eshakti, Ishakti. Now, when you go in there, it's gonna look real homely, but you gotta dig through and find stuff and then customize it so it can look like something worth wearing. Because some stuff you go in there, you be like, girl, this is looking like Chico fish. Like it's looking like, but you gotta adjust it and you gotta give them your exact measurements, because if you give them your exact measurements, it will be to your body. Have one of your friends measure you. Now, if you just pick their stuff and pick their measurements, it is gonna be off. You can't do that. You gotta send them all your measurements, and they measure everything from your elbow to your wrist to your. They measure everything. They want you to have the exact fit, so it can be a perfect fit each and every time. And then you can go in there and custom. You can pick um custom fabric. Like, say you like this dress, but you don't like the fabric, you can pick a fabric in that dress style. Like, they let you switch it out. Now, I warn you, it's gonna take forever to get your shit. So don't plan. Be patient. It's gonna come, but you gotta be patient. Because it takes like a month, like 8 weeks. So it's not like some super fast shit. So don't think that. But they're reasonable, and it's going to be an exact fit, and you can adjust it. So you can make the titties, if you want the titties to be showing where the V is low, you can make the V real low. If you want the arms to be short on a dress that you see, you can make it short, you can make it long. You can make it a regular ass dress. Say you see a dress that's like a cute sundress, you can make that super long like a gown. There's so many things you can do on the site. I don't know why I'm promoting them. But that's what I use. And they're inexpensive. They're not super, super expensive. Same thing. I bought this fire ass fucking coat from them, and they made it custom to me. I love it. It's my favorite coat. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. He commented on your video on you telling black people they're acting white. So he was like, "Is this the lady from the video? You need to do a whole breakdown on that conversation." Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know what conversation is. I say that all the time. Which video? Because some of them do be acting white. If you were going to cover a song from Wicked, what would you choose? None of them. Them songs are too high. The one that I like to play like I can sing is Popular. Talk about popular. I can't remember the words, but popular. I love to sing that one. But the rest of them, no, they're too hard. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because when people, especially suburban people, they love to make when black people, regular black people say, "Oh, you acting white," they always minimize it and make it seem like you're talking about them talking proper. Like, "Oh, you're a low level black, so you talk like you're ghetto. And when you hear me talking proper English, you think it's me. You're calling me white because I'm talking proper English. And so, because I'm not talking ghetto, there's some people who think that when you say they're talking white, that it's about how they're speaking, or when you say they're acting white or talking white, that it's about how they're speaking, and it's not about how you speaking. It's your whole aura, bitch. It's not your and minimizing it to just how you talk. Like I I'm stupid enough to where I don't think black people can talk. I know some black people who are teachers and educators who talk really, really well, and I still would never say that they talk white. It's not about your articulation, it's about how you move. There's a particular vernacular that you are taking on, and it's a choice because Black people know how to code switch. We know how to do these things. And how you speak is not just regular articulation, it is a particular vernacular that you're doing. A perfect example is a Jessica Lee, like Francesca Ramsey. I think she is a perfect example. I would never trust her. She says some amazing things, but there is an investment in her vernacular that I can tell. And my engagement with her has proven me right every single time. There is a she has taken on in recent years a pro-black kind of stance in this kind of post Trayvon Martin world. She has taken on this stance that is pro-black. So it's like, oh, she be, kind of similar to Dr. Umar. She be, but just a woman. She be on, they like broken clocks, they be right sometimes. But my engagement with her, I know you are op. Like I can tell how you talk, I can tell how you move. You are a Karen, and you just so happen to be a dark-skinned Black girl, and so therefore you can't get out of being a Black girl. So you have chose on your platform to be pro-Black because it's going to get you clicks, and you're an intelligent girl. But I can tell, like I can tell, and we've had engagements with each other, and you're an op. I can tell how you move. I can tell how you move. I can tell how you talk. I can tell your investment in that. And so she's a perfect example, but she's not the only example. It's not just an articulation thing. It is it's a your whole aura, how you move, everything about you. You're an op. It was no surprise when you was married to a white man. I'm pretty sure that was a crowning achievement for your ass. um, I feel like you would eat Wizard and I or No Good Deed. Maybe. But yes, 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 yes. So let's talk about Wizard. I remember she had some craziness back in the old school YouTube days. Yeah, she was weird. And then I don't want to say we got into it, but she, I made a comment under her post maybe like 6 months ago. I can't remember what I said, but it was something jovial, like something jokey. And she responded in a very weird ass way, like asking like a very smart aleck question. And I was like, "Are you serious? Like, what's the tea? What you serious? Like, are you trying to be funny? Like, I didn't really understand. Now, I was trying to be funny. It wasn't like I said something at her or to her or about her. It was like a joke about whatever joke that she was making about the subject. So it wasn't like at her or attacking her or a joke where she was the butt of the joke. It was nothing like that. But the way she responded was real left field, and I was like, oh, it was a joke. I don't know why you took it like offensive because it wasn't a joke about you. And I was like, oh, it was a joke. And then everybody under the comment was like, girl, why are you tripping? Like, what? I didn't understand her at all. It was weird. It was very, very weird. And we have had like 3 moments like this. And it was like, oh, yeah, we don't vibe because when I say a Black type of joke, like there is certain contexts that a person in Black culture would get. And it was a joke like that you know, where we would know it. Like it was like you would know that this isn't about you. This is about what's happening in the culture of ours. And it would just be funny. But she didn't get it or something. It went over her head. Oh, of course it went over your head. You a op. You a op. That's why it went over your head. You a black girl, but you ain't a real black girl. You a op. So I should have known. No surprise. um, yeah. So let's talk about the Wiz, not the Wiz, Wicked. All right, so it might be some spoilers. I mean, the Wicked been out. You should have seen it. You should have read the book. You should have seen the play. You should have, child. You should know what's going on, child. You should know what's going on. So, yes. So if you have not seen Wicked, make sure you go check it out. I give it 5 stars. I give it 10 out of 10 rating. It is amazing. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. So it is the movie adaptation of Wicked by Gregory Maguire. It is. It was a book that was created into a stage play that was hugely successful. Still has shows running. It is, yeah, it's just one of them ones when it comes to musicals. So it is a musical. And yeah, so it is about so first of all, Gregory Maguire, he has a propensity to take um fairy tales, normal fairy tales that you know, like Wizard of Oz or Cinderella or whatever. He has explored a couple of fairy tales and created books around them, but telling them from a different perspective. So like say Cinderella, one of my favorite books of his, not one, it is my favorite book of his, is called Confessions of a Stepsister. And it is the Cinderella story told from the vantage point of the stepsister. And so I love that book because it examined the blessing and the curse of beauty. And um and it's called The Confession of an Ugly Stepsister. And it's just dope. I love it. It's just a real honest exploration about beauty, the good, the bad, the ugly, the privilege, the lack of privilege, the access, all the stuff that comes when you are pretty or when you are not pretty or when you are plain too. I think that's another element of the story, where there's a difference between being beautiful, ugly, and plain. Like I'm not hideous. You're not gonna be turned off by me. You're not gonna be turned on by me. I'm just really in the middle, um, average. And so it explores those kind of dynamics when it comes to desirability, and in the theme is Cinderella. So this Wicked is the story of the Wizard of Oz. The classic story that we know is from the perspective of Dorothy Gale, coming from Kansas, tornado sweeping her up, and boom, she's smack dab in the middle of a new land, new people, Oz, and she goes on a journey where she comes into the story by her house dropping down on one of the witches. And so that witch, her sister, the Wicked Witch of the West, vows to get her shoes from Dorothy. And we know that classic story. She meets the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and then goes to Oz, and Oz sends her on the journey to go kill the Wicked Witch. She got to kill the Wicked Witch to get home, and blah blah blah. And then we found out that he's a damn scam. Blah blah blah. So we know that story, but Gregory Maguire tells the story from the perspective of the Wicked Witch and how she came to be, and it is a brilliant political story. And it all the themes of Gregory Maguire books are adult, so it's not for children. It definitely has some adult themes. It's not for kids. It's not no porn, but it's not for kids. You definitely they be having sex, they be doing stuff, and it be adultery. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely be some shit going on. So for example, how 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 what you call it becomes green, how the Wicked Witch becomes green is her mother is cheating on her governor husband's she's cheating on him. And so while she's cheating on him, she's having these kind of drinks with the dude she's cheating with. Especially Mirror Mirror is way too grown. Mirror Mirror is really grown. Um, um, and so she's drinking with him. They're drinking this kind of elixir while they're having sex, and her baby that she conceives is by the dude that she's cheating on, not her husband. And so when she comes out, because of the elixir, because of, this is not his baby. This baby don't look nothing like this man. This baby looks like a green baby. It comes out green. And so because of that, the father when the next baby comes, because they're scared that the next baby is gonna be green and they don't want it to be green, they start taking this kind of medication and blah 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 blah. And so the next baby come out and the baby is paralyzed, which is Wicked Witch's sister, Nessa Rose. Um, and so, yes. And so the story of Wicked is telling the story before Dorothy comes to the land of Oz. What is happening? How these politics, how do we get the Oz? How do we get Glinda, Glinda, and how do we get the Wicked Witch of the West, the origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West. So this is what the film covers. That's what it basically covers. You are the main place that you're at is the Shiz University, which is the school for school for kids. And this is where Nessa Rose go to school. This is where the Wicked Witch goes to school. Her name is Elphaba. And I think it's cool. Elphaba is the name is kind of a no, is it a moniker? I don't know what the word is, but when you say her name, Elphaba is LFB, and the original author of The Wizard of Oz is L. Frank Baum. So Elphaba. So his main character is named, the Wicked Witch original's name is named after L. Frank Baum. Yeah. So I thought that was really, really cool for Gregory to name the main character, the Wicked Witch, after the originator, which was, just giving honor to the originator. So you go to the school, and what is the political shit that is going on is, you don't know this until later on, but the political shit that's going on is, in the school there are, well, at the time it's only one. It is a professor who is a ram who actually talks. Like, the animals can talk, like humans. They can talk, and they can sing, they can dance, they can do all the intellectual stuff that goes on with like humans. And so, but by the time that Elphaba and this class, this generation come to the school, it has dwindled down to where it's one animal that is a professor at the school. And so what you learn is the animals are being kind of oppressed. Like, they are trying to cage them up so they don't learn how to speak. Because if you raise them like normal animals, like in our human world, like the real world, if you raise them, they won't speak. And if you cage them and don't let them be free, they won't ever speak. And you can be like, oh, they're just like a regular animal. But if you let them be free, they grow up and be able to speak and walk and talk and do all this kind of stuff like humans. And so somebody is trying to basically oppress them and make them not human and not be able to talk. And so it used to be a time in this era where everybody used to be like, "Ooh, we can talk. We can we're free and everybody living with everybody." But now it's like this covert undercover repression of the animals. And so the one professor who is there, Professor Dilliard or something, I can't remember. Less sentiment. Yes, sentient. Um, and so the I think his name is Dilliard, or something like that. I can't remember. It starts with a D. um, he's the last professor. He's a ram, and so that is the crux of what's happening in this particular part of the story. Um, that's the under layer of sneaky shit happening. And so when she comes to the school, she meets Galinda. Galinda is Ariana Grande's character. Elphaba is played by Cynthia Erivo. And so she comes to the school, and basically Galinda is this privileged, rich white girl. Basically, privileged, rich white girl. She feels very, very narcissistic, but she has very narcissistic qualities. There's moments in the film where she has um, self-reflection, and that is a clear sign of somebody not being a narcissist, because narcissists can't do that. And so, but you can have narcissistic traits, but you can tell Galinda is she's kind of, she may be a bitch, but I'm having a moment where maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And that's what happens in the film. She becomes friends with Elphaba, even though Elphaba is green, and she comes from a less well-to-do family. And Galinda starts to, at first she's being like a mean girl to her, and Elphaba is like, "Girl, you ain't gonna be no mean girl to me." I've been a twirler since I was little, because there's a scene where she was using her powers to throw rocks at people that was teasing her sister or teasing her. I can't remember if she was teasing Nesero. Um, but yeah, so she said, "I've been a twirler, honey, and you ain't gonna be running over me. These other people can kiss your ass, but I ain't gonna kiss your ass. Move your stuff on this side of the room, and I'm gonna move your stuff so I can have my space and you can have yours." So they have this song where they talk about loathing each other, and so which I think is a fun song. Which what I love about this, which is through the whole movie, what I love about this particular song is it's the first time that you get to hear Cynthia and Ariana sing together, and how amazing their blend is. Like their blend, their voice, how when they're singing in unison, they know how to like blend. And for singers, that is a really, really unique trait, to be able to sing with other people. Because usually singers, particularly like solo artists, they're just used to kind of, even if they're in like a duet, they're used to kind of like doing their own thing to make themselves stand out, even if they're in a duet. But when they were singing, you can hear that they were intentionally blending and trying to make it sound like one voice. And they were so fucking good. Their tone and their voice was so perfectly blended, even when they was harmonized, and even when, but especially when you hear them singing in unison, chef kiss. Like the musicality of these two artists coming together is freaking like perfect. It's just perfect. It's just, they cast the perfect two people. And even that kind of anybody who has been in musical theater there is a way that there's a sing song, a talky sing songy stuff thing that happens when you are singing like in a musical that is very it reminds me of code switching too, like when you are code switching. um and it sounds, I call it like a more commercial sound. um and so there's a more commercial, as a think about how Cynthia would sing in like The Color Purple as opposed to her sing how she would sing in, The Wiz, the Wicked. And so it's a more how Ariana Grande sings when she's singing her music as opposed to how she's singing when she's singing this musical. There is a commercial sound. You hear it in Disney movies, you hear it in musicals. There is a similar to a code switch in how you sing. It's less runny, it's less you don't run too much. It's really commercial. It's really almost the opposite of churchy. It's less vibrato, it's more bright. I hope y'all understand what I'm talking about. It's more bright. It is a form of code switching that you have to do when you are singing musical numbers. And they do it perfectly. Like they do it, they know how to cut that on. And they both are cutting it on in a way that is like super, super brilliant. And then they're blending into one sound. Yes, Ty. So I think there's two stories that is happening that when y'all watch it, I want y'all to pay attention to. If you are in here listening, make sure you thumbs up. It is 20 people listening and only 11 people have thumbs up. Thumbs up. A lot of straight notes, yes. So one of the things that, yay, thumbs up. One of the things, the two stories that I think is kind of powerful is, I want to say the A and the B story. So of course the A story is going to be not A and B, maybe A and B, because this story is about Elphaba and Galinda. That's who it's about. But Elphaba is the main character. So let's say she's the A and Glinda's story is the B. So Elphaba's story, the crux of it, like the main point of her story, like the didactic meaning of her story to me is that she is an outsider. She is somebody that is different. She is somebody that um it's easy to alienate her, and she's somebody that has to find her own strength in being herself and being different and 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 getting to know her own power despite the world kind of being against her. Um yeah, that's what the main story is, and accepting that side of you, accepting your power. And to me, that is black as hell. like it's which made it beautiful when they cast Cynthia Erivo, because it gives, regardless if she's green, da 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 da, hiring a black woman to play this, it racializes it, like, and you get it. And that's why the character of Elphaba was so relatable to so many people, because of this particular storyline, being different and learning how to use your powers, and defying gravity. Like whatever the push and pull to get you to conform, whatever the push and pull to get you to do what other people think you should be or do, that's you gotta fly, and you gotta defy gravity. That's the main point of Elphaba's story. Now, to me, Glinda is an interesting B story, because what Glinda is learning is everything ain't about her, but it's the more nuanced and spicy story to me. You get Elphaba. It's automatic. Like you get it. But Glinda is the more spicy because it's the more problematic. Because we know from the old story, the initial Dorothy Gale, the old story, that Glinda is supposed to be the good witch. She's supposed to be the good witch. And so how do we, now that we know the backstory, is she the good witch? Is she good? Because bitch, you seem a little shady to me. You seem a little privileged. You seem a little because that we know that the Wicked Witch is going to end up dying. Do you see what I'm saying? We know that Dorothy, we know what's happening. This is a prequel of the story we know. We know that Dorothy is gonna go to Oz and get sent to kill her with the water. And so since we know that, and bitch, you sent Dorothy to Oz, and now we know that you connected to these other motherfuckers. So are you really good? And while they're sharing this story as y'all friends in high school, clearly later on you betray her. That's what it gives to me. And there's a couple of moments that what I love about the writing of this particular story is they really lean into the narrative and how they wrote this story. They really lean into how some people will perform their allyship, either really being two-faced and fake or doing it for the wrong reason. So let me give you a perfect example. So a clear-cut two-faced moment is when Galinda gives give Elphaba the black hat, the classic pointy black hat. Now, her and her friends talked hella shit about the hat. So she gave it to her being a shady ass bitch. Like they thought the hat was hideous and ugly and blah, 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 blah. They literally gave it to her for that exact reason. And so this is an obvious shady moment. But another shady moment that I thought was not that it's not that it wasn't obvious that it was shady, but I think it's obvious. I think it's not as obvious when people, the viewer, do that. They may not recognize that they're doing that themselves. So let me give you a perfect example. Like I said, there's going to be some spoilers or whatever. So there's a moment when Galinda has the male interest, the main male interest. And so he's a perfect guy, she's a perfect girl. So they have come together as like the movie couple. Okay. But he kind of likes Elphaba. But there's a moment when Elphaba gets what she's been dreaming of to go see the Wizard of Oz. Okay. So she's headed out. And at this point, she has made friends. There's this moment where she goes to this dance and Galinda is kind of put in a position to befriend her and be nice to her, and it's a beautiful moment. It's a to me it got me emotional. Just it's a beautiful moment where her and Elphaba is dancing and it solidifies their friendship because she's not pretending to be her friend. She's making a decision to treat her nice and treat her beautiful, which shows the goodness and the nuance. What's beautiful about characters is they ain't just good, they ain't just bad. It's a beautiful kind of just a nuance of the character. It's like they're complicated. And so this was a moment when Glinda was showing that I'm not just a bitch. I'm not just shady. I'm not just I'm actually a good person. And this is the moment where she is showing Elphaba some care. And so they become friends and they start doing their thing. But the point I'm talking about is this whole movie, she's been correcting people about her name. So we know her as the good witch Glinda. 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 Yeah, Glinda. So we know her. She's a Glinda, the good witch, Glinda, the good witch. But her name is Galinda. Okay, Galinda. And so the whole movie, she has been correcting people, particularly the professor, the animal professor. So I remember I told y'all there is this hierarchy where the humans are the good people, and there's a uppity level of good people from upland. That's called, you know, we have a Munchkin land, and then there's an upland in Oz too. The upland is where the rich people. And so the regular degular folks is gonna be Munchkin land, which is where Elphaba is from. And then there's the next level down, which would be kind of like the poor, poverty, ghetto, I don't know, whatever. That's the analogy, is gonna be the animals. And so in the school, the teacher is one of the animals. And so Galinda is being shady to him because he cannot pronounce her name right, because he's an animal. And because of what they're kind of doing to him and making him be less sentient, as Ty said, um, because he can't pronounce the in Galinda. And so he calls her Glinda, because how he speaks it in his vernacular, it's hard for him to say Galinda. And so she tries to embarrass him and correct him in how he talks. And she's being really, really shady about it, being a bitch in how he is saying her name. It is not Glinda, it is Galinda. And she's just making this big deal of it. And Elphaba comes to his defense about how he's saying it, and she's being a bitch. Okay, so fast forward to Elphaba is getting on the train to go to see Oz, and Glinda tells everybody to come around, and she performatively says, in honor of the professor who has been arrested, stuff has happened with the professor, and I want everybody to call me Glinda in honor of him, because she's saying that she cares about this issue now. Remember, she was being a bitch before, but now the Elphaba and the guy that she's in love with cares about this issue. She cares about the issue. And so she performatively says, call me Galinda in honor of Dr. Dillard. And I thought that that was a powerful moment because they are leaning into the Karen-esque of Glinda. How she is a fucking Karen, how she is a bitch and she's fake and she's performatively on everybody, on these people's side, and she's not real. And in the moment, it was like, oh, I'm glad that they wrote this in the moment, because this is a moment where her sole purpose of doing this is to show off in front of this nigga. It is not because she cares about the animals. It is not because she cares about Elphaba, even though she does a little bit. But the performance of her saying, call me Glinda and not Galinda, even though I've been a bitch this whole time about you calling me Galinda, it is just me performing this act for this dude. It is not because I care about the issue. And that is really something that we see common, particularly in social justice, in white women social justice, in white women feminism. They really don't care about the issue of women as a whole. They care about white women. You get what I'm saying? They really just care about them and what they want. Her whole purpose of doing that is to impress the guy, because her purpose is, I'm supposed to marry him. This is supposed to be my man. So if I got to pretend that I'm down for this animal cause, then shit, I'm going to do that, because this goes along with the story that I want for my own life. It's still sad about the Goat Professor. In the musical version, he is so sweet. He's so sweet in the movie too. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do have plans to. Yes, absolutely. He's sweet in the movie too. And so it's a perfect example of that kind of moment of, oh, then another element is which is what I love. There's an element when, and I love that they got her in pink and she's very high femme, because there is a analogy of performing femininity in a certain way and the power of holding on to being a good girl. There is that, and it's in the play, and it's in the movie, where Galinda is the perfect girl. She's a girly girl. She is, high femme, pink, and girly, and da 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 da. And so you see her trying to woo this main guy, and then you see her use her feminine wiles to get this other guy that's into her to ask Nessa Rose out, to ask Elphaba's sister out on a date, because she's using that to impress Elphaba, because she wants Elphaba, because she wants to get in good with the sorcery lady. Very Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter. Very poised in appearance, but sinister underneath. And I don't want to say yes, yes, but in a different way. I think I I think Galinda is more innocent. I don't think it's I think Glinda's her. There are some people who just don't know better. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's like it's I just don't know better. And I think it's her youth. It's like, this is how I was taught to be a girl. I was taught to be a girl like this. So I don't know that it's problematic, and it has served me. Understand that. And this is a lesson that if you're a girl's girl, this is a lesson that you kind of, if you're a girl's girl and you're a girly girl, it's a lesson that you learn when engaging with women, because you will meet women who, I just know how to maneuver the world because I have been sheltered and I have been taught to be this kind of girl. There's no other way for me to be, because I mean, I haven't learned that there's another way for me to be. There's a way that I can be empowered. There's a way that I can be um not stuck in this patriarchal role as a girly girl. You can actually, exactly what Elphaba is learning, clock that T, is that the power is in you and you can actually hold it and use it and control it. And it doesn't need to be just using your femininity. The power is using everything about you, your masculinity, your femininity, just your self-confidence as a whole. And I think that there are some people who come in the world who are sheltered and privileged, and their identities align with their assignment at birth. And so imagine I'm a girl who is a cisgender girl who aligns with what the world told me I should be, and I'm okay with it. A lot of times the stories that we hear about women, it is when their their personality and their traits don't align with that. So if they're too confident, if they're too strong, if they're too masculine, if they know how to buck up against boys, usually that's the crux of the story. Usually when we see girls like a Galinda, it isn't that's not enough to be a good story, because you're not bucking up against nothing. You're literally just going with the role that you have. And sometimes there are women who go through the world learning to use their femininity to get what they want because they learn early on that if I be a girly girl, I get the princess treatment. Especially if my looks align with what they're supposed to align with. If I be a girly girl, I be a feminine girl, I be submissive, and not just submissive in because I think white women in particular, um, when you're next to somebody who has all the power, let's say white men, okay? When you're next to somebody who have all the power and what you learn to use is your emotionality and your sexuality to get what you want. Women have done, white women particularly in power have done this. Think about Cersei and the queens and like Cersei from Game of Thrones. Like what they have to use is sex and emotionality. They use it's not power, it's not violence. It's not like men do. They can't do that because they're not as strong as men. In now, we're talking about the norm. You have the exception, like a Brianna Tarth, but a normal woman that's not a fighter like Brienne, I can't use violence to persuade you. So what can I persuade you to get what I want? Sex and emotionality, tears. You get what I'm saying? And so getting what they want, that's what they have been accustomed to using. Their feminine wiles, and that feminine wiles can be sexuality or it can be their emotionality, in their daintiness and their femininity and their wanting to be how they play the role of wanting to be the damsel. So I might be able to fix my car. I might be able to change my tire. I might literally have that skill to do, but I'm going to act like I don't have that skill or I can't do it so that you can do it as a man and you feel needed and you feel wanted. I'm okay with playing that role. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm saying I just as an example. Um I'm okay with playing that role. I'm okay with being the damsel. There are some women that are not comfortable with being that don't have that don't like the feeling of vulnerability, that don't like the feeling. It's not that they don't want to that's belittling. It's like I'm more I can, there's an offensiveness to it, that when you have to play that kind of feminine damsel in distress, there's some people who are offended by the world putting us in that position. Does that make sense? And then there are some women who naturally are just okay with it. Like it doesn't offend them. They don't have a feminist analysis enough to be able to be like, "Oh, this is kind of putting us in a box. This is kind of putting us in this feminine damsel box." It's not that I want to be a man. I like being a girl, but I don't want you to automatically assume because I'm a girl that I'm weak or I'm not smart enough to do something or I'm not logical enough to do something or I'm too emotional to do something. And then there are some women who are like, "Oh, I am emotional. I am dainty and I do want to do this and I can't believe you're saying this to me. Oh my god, you're so rude to me. You're not being nice to me." What is it? There's some women who are okay with living in that space and some women that are not. And so to me, Glinda, unlike Dolores, and I'm only saying this because you brought up Dolores. Unlike Dolores, I think Dolores relishes in the power of being next to the men. I think Dolores relishes in that power, and that's why she was like a megalomaniac and a control freak because and why she was trying to go after Dumbledore so much. And you feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm in power now. I'm going to take this power from you. Uh, you feel what I'm saying? But Glinda, there's a little girl, because she is a little girl in this film, a high school girl, or not it's university, so let's say a college girl. Um, so there's an innocence to it. I don't think Glenda is going after power. Do you see what I'm saying? Like she already feels like I'm already that bitch. You get what I'm saying? I'm already popular. Popular. Uh I'm already popular. I've grew up with wealth. I grew up with things. So this is what is expected. And it's not about me being more powerful. It's about I was taught that I'm supposed to be a certain way. And if I be a certain way, you get your way. Like she literally says it in some of the scenes, like, oh my God, I didn't get my way in this situation. Like it was a moment where she was like, I didn't get my way. Oh, this must be how you feel, Elphaba. Like she's being a bitch like that. Which is, let me talk about the acting too. So first of all, Ariana kills. We talked about the singing. They kill it. Both of them kill the acting, especially Ariana in her comedic timing and just her dedication to the bitchiness of Glenda and the deadpan of it. Like she will say some of the most ridiculous stuff, arrogant, ridiculous stuff. So simple, like duh. Like almost like this, she's in her own reality and you just gotta accept it. Like I am that bitch, and so of course this is this is what it is. She'll just say some shit that any regular person will cuss her ass out. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Get out of here. But she'll just the way Ariana delivers it is so masterful, like in regard to her acting in comedic timing, because they're meant to be funny, and she'll deliver something that is so like bitchy, but not in a Regina George way, in a way that's like, because Regina George was being bitchy and was mean. It's like I'm trying to think of who is a better comparison. Where oh, okay. Like y'all remember on Wears Prada, and Miranda says, "Oh, something such and something. You have no sense of style, fashion, da 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 da." Um, and Anne Hathaway's style. She was like, "Well, I think I have." And Miranda said, "Oh, that wasn't a question." That kind of where it's a read, but it's a read, but it's she's not thinking of it as a read. She's just telling you, "Oh, it wasn't a question." You don't have a sense of style, like I said. It wasn't. I didn't say that as a question. And so Glenda did that throughout the movie, where she is saying, even in the song "Popular," she's giving these kind of cuts that is like, oh, I'm gonna have to my work cut out for me to get you popular, bitch. We got to figure something out. But it's similar to that song, because in that song she's just singing, and she's just singing, oh, popular. And she's just singing this little song, but in the words, it's really some reads of Elphaba. And her personality throughout the movie gives that kind of deadpan, like non-emotional, just this is the reality. I'm that bitch and you're not, and you know it, I know it. And so we got to figure this out. Like even when so when they put Elphaba in her room, because she was supposed to have a private room, they put Elphaba in her room, and she gave her this little corner. Not even like half of the room. Like she gave her this really small little corner of the room, and all her shit is all covering up her stuff. And Elphaba says, "Do you think this is fair?" Like, and Elphaba is talking about how she has split the room. It's not fair. It need to be half and half because we're roommates. And so she's asking, "Do you think this is fair?" But without missing a beat or questioning it or even considering that she meant something else. Glenda says, No, I don't think it's fair, but what do you do? But she's talking about her being bumped with her. It is so glorious. Just the way she delivers the song, delivers her lines and delivers the character of Glinda is so amazing. I love it. But yes, I think Glinda is sheltered and doesn't have to learn beyond her own world until this point. Yes, Gigi, you are totally right. I think this moment, meeting Elphaba and picking up on her strength, even there's a moment where she's like, where the guy is saying, I just love how Elphaba doesn't give a fuck about how nobody thinks. And Glinda, not even understanding the concept of being like that, she think that it is something that Elphaba is putting on. She was like, no, she cares about what people think. She just likes to pretend that she doesn't. But she really doesn't. She has gotten, and she doesn't understand that Elphaba has been green all her life. She's been the outside all her life. And when you are an outsider, anybody who has been an outsider knows this, particularly queer people. When you have been an outsider all your life, it gives you a thick skin. It makes you accustomed to being by yourself, hanging out. It's similar to like an only child. If you ain't got no brothers and sisters, playing alone and being imaginative comes second nature to you. It just does. And so she doesn't understand that Elphaba really has built up that kind of thick skin around not caring about what people think and being herself. And so it's unfathomable to Glinda to be like that because her life revolves around impressing people and being the girly girl. That's what it is. And there are women out here like that, that they come to college or they come into sometimes high school and they have to grapple with, oh, it is a big world out here. And there are some girls that are not like me, good or bad, whether that's good or bad. There's some girls that are not like me. And I'm not going to always get what I want. And there's going to be some guys who are not attracted to that. There are going to be some guys who, because I am the perfect girly girl, it makes me so bland. It makes me so boring. It makes me so not interesting. And they come out in the world and think that that is going to work. And while, yes, it may, being that high film girly girl, it's going to work, yes. But it also is going to attract a certain type of man that's going to dog you out and be shady to you. Because that high film girly girl attracts that high masculine toxic dude. Because you are the perfect trophy now. And so usually you're going to attract that kind of gross toxic masculinity because you are that gross toxic feminine, not necessarily toxic, but that stereotypical femininity. Especially if you're problematic, then it's toxic femininity. But I don't like to say that because motherfuckers love to create them as equal. And I don't think a toxic femininity and a toxic masculinity are equal things. I think that when we see toxic femininity, it is really just toxic masculinity in female form. And I know that's hard for some people to understand, but usually if you give me an example of something that you would consider toxic femininity, usually the root of it is still that patriarchy. So if say like a girl who is, they both patriarchy, yes. Let's say a girl who is judging you because you're dressing like masculine or like a boy, you're not dressing feminine. The root of that, she may be being mean to you or saying you too big. Because you are too big and husky, she's kind of like masculinizing you and making it seem like you are less than a woman because you're big. While that is a toxic trait that she's doing, and she's doing something negative as a woman, the reason why she has that, the mentality of small is feminine and whatever dressing, how she dressing is masculine and this is feminine. Those rules are patriarchal rules. She's just upholding the patriarchy because for whatever reason she was taught to do it and she has invested in in doing it. It's still on the, yeah, men are still, the male gaze is still present within her and she's judging you with that gaze as a woman. Think about like a mother who want her daughter to get married. Oh, why don't you, oh, Cheryl, why you always coming out in these sweatsuits? Why don't you get your hair done and put your makeup on? How you gonna find a husband and have me some grandchildren if you don't, if you're not even trying? You're running around here looking like a man. Put some lipstick on, put a dress on, be feminine. There's many mothers who talk to their daughters like that. And that is toxic masculinity coming up, saying that you got to be a certain way to attract a man because you want me to have children. You want me to get married. You want me to be a girly girly because you think that that's the role of a woman. When I couldn't even be, I could be thinking about doing something totally different. That's still that patriarchy just coming from a woman. So, these lights are making my nose itch. So, then we go to, and remember, this is a two-part movie. So it's part one and part two. So we're in part one. So part one, hey, part one, we get to the crux, we get to where it's getting spicy. So that we learn by the end of the movie that Elphaba is being set up, basically. She's being set up to be the villain. She has been set up to be the Wicked Witch of the West. They say it. The best way to get people to do what you need them to do is to give them somebody to hate. And so Mrs. Morrible, is that how you say her name? Mrs. Morrible, Madam Morrible. Um, she has been writing to the wizard and setting it up to where this is going to be. She is, to me, her and the wizard are the villains of the story. The head professor at the head sorcery professor at the university, and the wizard, when they find out that she really does have some power, like, oh, she is a powerful witch, she is a witch, and so let's make her the villain. And so I think how they did it, I think how they brought her, um how they made her turn the flying monkeys into flying monkeys. I love how they did all of that. And this is her learning that, yo, this is who I am. I'm not gonna, if y'all making me the villain, okay, but I'm not gonna do what y'all want me to do. I'm gonna do it my way. And I feel like it's we get to find out what happens later on part two. But this part introduced us to the relationship between her and Glinda. It introduced us to the relationship of her sister. Now, what the character that really annoyed me was her sister, because her sister grew up protecting her. Elphaba's sister, Nessa Rose. Um, Elphaba grew up protecting her and looking out for her and being mistreated by her father because she was green. Um, but then her sister had no kind of defensiveness to Elphaba. Like, she had no kind of, like, we raised to defend, twirl with our sisters. And maybe that's not, I don't know if that's a cultural thing, but I don't know. I was raised that your brothers and sisters are your people. And if I know some people that are not like this, but because they're punks, but I don't know. I never grew up in a household where you don't ride or die with your siblings. Yeah, it just was a yeah, it just was a Nessa Rose annoys me, but if you read the book, you know that girl, fuck her. Fuck Nessa Rose. I don't like her. Ah, she is a punk until she becomes a Wicked Witch of the East. Yes. But in this movie right now, I don't like how she was getting down. She should have been ride or die for her sister, even especially in that motherfucker. And when she was at that damn party. But even when she becomes like, cause don't she become in the book? I ain't read the book in a long time, but don't Nessa Rose becomes like the governor of Munchenland after her father or something? Don't she become she becomes um like the yeah she could yeah she becomes the governor or something. And so yeah, I ain't really like her. I ain't really like that bitch. And wait, ain't she the one that get the house dropped on her? Yeah, she the one who actually get the house dropped on her, right? Dorothy's house. Yes. Okay. I was making sure. Yes. So the Nessa Rose is the one who, when Dorothy come, the house wear her out. So Nessa Rose is the one that that gets the house that little toes curl up. Which is funny because in the movie she's paralyzed. And well, also in like take it out of the fantasy world, in real life, there's a bunch of beautiful representation in this film. First of all, Cynthia Erivo being a black woman, but also being an openly queer black woman, playing Elphaba is dope. But also Nessa Rose is an openly queer disabled woman, like literally in a wheelchair. And them playing these roles because Nessa Rose is in a wheelchair in the film. These two queer women playing these roles, they both got girlfriends. Openly is fucking dope as far as representation, disability representation, black representation, and she a POC. She's a person of Nessa Rose is a person of color. It's just I love it. I was like, oh, this is dope. Dope representation. I love, 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 love that. Um, Cynthia is so beautiful. Yes. Now, me and my friends was in the group had talking about how they look. They now in real life in these interviews, they've been looking real gaunt. Yeah, I think Cynthia is still with Lena Waithe. They've been looking real gaunt and anorexic, both of them, especially Ari, but Cynthia too. They looking real like. And I think I was telling my friends that I think they're just on, it's just classic Hollywood. When you're on a press run, you get skinny. You get skinny, you get slim because you're doing the press run. And so you want your clothes to fit. And both of them is looking skinny, mini, and unhealthily skinny. And I don't be liking to talk about people, um, people's weight. And we should have learned from, we should have learned from, my keys. We should have learned from Chadwick Boseman that maybe we shouldn't be talking about people's bodies because we don't know what they're going through, but they look unhealthily skinny, and I'm just gonna say it. Now I know Cynthia has been workout fish, but she's not even toned no more. She look just skinny, and definitely Ariana Grande looks skinny as hell. They're also Munchkins, or at least both of them are from Munchkin Land. So What you got is not from Munchkinland. Glinda ain't from Munchkinland. She's from Upland. Now, Nessarose and Elphaba are from Munchkinland, but they're not Munchkins. Her in the book, her daddy is one of them animal people. From if I remember. Because in the book, don't her mama leave her daddy for the man? Because he moved in with him. Like, wasn't he like their gardener or something? I ain't read it in a long time, but right. Yeah, their daddy was one of them. Wasn't he like a ram or something? One of the animals that could talk or something? I can't remember. It was something different. Who is Elphaba's daddy?
Elvis Presley's father was
Not
Vernon
Elvis
Presley.
Presley. I don't want no damn Elvis Presley. Oh, in the book, Oz was his. Did I remember that Oz was her father? But no, it was somebody else. Oscar Diggs. It was some. Was he in disguise or something? But it was a reason why. Yeah, that's why she can read the Grimiri. So I don't think they're doing that in the film. I think they're doing that was in the book because he can't read it in the film. And then they showed the person. Who is the dude that she run away with? That the wife run away with? Melina Trump. Mm. Don't she run away with somebody? Doesn't somebody move in with them and she leaves Daddy Trope? Turtle Heart. Turtle Heart is Nessa Rose's daddy. Remember? Okay, so this is I ain't read it in a minute. So this is what I'm talking about. So when they had Elphaba, and he would remember her daddy was a preacher in the book, and so when he was traveling around doing his little preaching, he met this Quadlin man named Turtle Heart, that visited the farm, and the mama started fucking him. Y'all remember that? So the Oz is Elphaba Daddy, but she was started fucking another dude that they met called Turtle Heart. And she had Nessa Rose. That's what Nessa Rose is not that dude Trope's daddy either. Cause that's what I was talking about. Cause she runs away with him. Cause he starts staying in the Turtle Heart starts staying in the book. He started staying in the guest house. The reason why I remember this because I remember being young, reading and be like, "Damn, she was a hoe." She was great by the eyes with the elixir, but then she doing it with the dude that was staying with them that he was preaching with. I was like, "Damn." She was laying that cat wide and low, honey. I was like, damn. And the daddy, this is how messy the books is, y'all. Y'all need to read the books. Then the daddy fell in love with the trade that she had Nessa Rose by. Y'all remember that? So the daddy was queer. Right. He walked in on them and joined in. Then they moved with him to the Quaylin country where they all was living together. And she got pregnant with her third child, which was literally finally by her husband. So she got a baby by Oz, she got a baby by Turtle Heart, and now she finally got a baby by her husband, which is Shell. We learn about Shell, and then she ended up dying after she had her third baby. We learn more about Shell in the next book, Wicked, the Life and Time of the Wicked Witch of the West. In the other book. The book is juicy, y'all. Y'all need to it's grown. Y'all remember when Elphaba first did it with Figaro? Is that how his name is? I kept calling him Figaro, but Figaro, whatever his name is. Remember when she first did it to him, and they was in the dark, and he was describing her yeah, how he was describing her green skin was glistening, and her titties was all nipples was areolas and nipples was dark and green. It's real grown. I used to live. They either did it in a library or something. They were wearing it out. But yes. Now, of course, this is a big movie, so it was very PG. I was living too. It was very PG. So the movie's very PG. And so for me also the beauty of just the landscape of the whole film, they really put some money behind making it, opening up the world of what it is. It just was dope. Defying Gravity had me in tears. She did really, really good on that song. The moment that had me in tears was the moment at the party when Glenda was like, no. When her two friends were trying to convince Glenda not to dance with Elphaba. The Son of a Witch was good, but I didn't get to finish that one, dude. I started it off, but I don't know why I didn't finish it. I just never went back to it. But it did start off good. I assume that the lion, this is what I'm assuming in the film. I'm assuming that the lion, the little kitty cat that Elphaba let loose in the jungle, let be free, will become the lion that helps Dorothy kill her. Because he knew he's a cat that knew how to talk because he was out free and uncaged. I love the costumes. Elphaba costumes were fire. Glinda's costumes were fire. Mrs. Marble costume was fire. Everybody costumes were fucking fire. The costumes were so good. I want everything that Glinda had on. I want everything that that Elphaba had. The scenery was overwhelming. I loved it. I loved everything from the beginning when they were like right in the beginning when they were telling the story. I loved everything. I loved everything. I wanted to be there. Yeah, it was so fire. Oh, and I love the little treat that they give you in the middle when when the when the two Elphabas and the two Glendas are in the scene. Those two the ones from the play are playing a role in the movie, and you see them in the scene together. And I just thought that was so cute. That made my heart warm. That was so cute to see Kristen. How you say her last name? Kristen and Adina. Yeah, Kristen Henowich or Zinowich. I can't say her last name. The original Glinda and the original in the play. The original Glinda and Elphaba was in the movie. I thought that was they kept that a secret because I was like, oh, they are in it. I love that. That was cute because nobody had hinted to that. They let us know that they were a part of the filming, but Chenoweth and Mazel, yes, I love that they. I love when they do that. I love when people remake or revisit and bring old people back, the originals back. I think that's respectful, and you need to do that. And if you don't do that, you're late and you're tired. I also don't like when people don't like people try to get them to come back, but they don't let them come back. Like recently, we did they did a documentary on called Brats, and it was about the brats of the 1980s, like Molly Ringwald, Demi Moore, all those kind of popular teen stars and heartthrobs back then. Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, just all those. What his name? Something Judd, something. Them boys and girls, like they were like the Rat Pack, and so they was the Brat Pack. They were the brats, and so they did a amazing. I love the documentary, but Molly Ringwald didn't bring her ass on the fucking documentary, and I thought that that was tired and late. Like out of all the people, Molly didn't want to do it. Girl, gone. Um, Girl, you're tired. And I understand that you know, when you get older, you like, oh, that was the past, blah, 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 blah. But girl, but she did Riverdale. Girl, fuck her. She should have did the documentary. It was for like for us to talk about the moment in time, bitch. And you had fans that loved you. All those people on Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club was one of my favorite movies. Still to this day. And your stupid ass gonna not do it. We want to hear what's going on, girl. We want to hear your tea. And it'd be different if you was busy. Girl, you ain't busy. You could do this. You can talk. Fuck out of here. Girl, she wasn't booked and busy. He was, and he literally the dude who went went and do it. He was going to people. So he would have came to you, girl. And Demi Moore is booked and busy, and she did it. And the star who still is a star, who became a bigger star compared to everybody else. And she had time, girl. Get out of here. Oh, she looks so much better than what she had been looking. Cause she had got them. She done got them fucking filler Botox out of her face that made her look like weird. Molly did pay it, and it pissed me off. I was like, "Girl, you tired? We wanted to see you." Oh. Yes. So it was amazing. I love it. I suggest you go see it. It is the first part, so it was no conclusion, but I enjoyed the story. There is a analogy of privilege and and how you show up and how you are an ally that is all over the film. Um yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. 10 out of 10. The music was dope. Everybody did their thing on the music. Even the people who can't sing, like Mrs. Horrible, and even the even my boo, Jeff Goldblum, they did good. I've been in love with Jeff Goldblum since The Fly when I was little. It was so unapologetically queer and not even kind of, not that I would care about throw it in your face, but it wasn't even throw it in your face queer. It was very, it is just is. Molly, Kelly LeBrock, and Goldie Hawn were my favorite white girls in the 80s. Was Goldie Hawn an 80s girl? She felt like she was old in the 80s. I know she was popping back then, but I felt like she was grown. She wasn't one of the teenagers. She was old, wasn't she? Wasn't she old by the 80s? Kelly LeBrock, who is that? Let me see who that is. Kelly LeBrock. Oh no, I didn't like her. Uh-uh. She did that science movie, right? Weird. Was it Weird Science? What was the movie called? What was the movie she did? Wasn't she like a robot or something? Yeah, Weird Science. Yeah, no, I didn't like her. My favorite was Molly, Brooke Shields, my favorite 80s girls. And Vanity, honey. Vanity girl, Vanity honey was my girl. Vanity baby. Um Brooke, Vanity, my favorite 80s girl. I like Cindy Lauper. I like Cindy Lauper too. I don't know. I feel like they can't count just because they got too big. They got too big and went past to just being 80s girls. So like Madonna and Janet, I consider them 80s girls too, but they got so big that they're not stuck in the 80s. Like they're my favorite 80s, 90s to the Madonna and Janet is like, girl. Um, but I started to fall in love with them in the 80s. So it's like they are kind of 80s girls, but I'm guess we talk about just movies. But movies, Vanity, favorite 80s girl. Molly Ringwald, Brooke Shields. Definitely Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields was my fire and desire. Oh, Irene Cara. I love Irene Cara too. Irene Cara. Look at the sky. Jesus inventory of a woman and your glory. Leave your bad things behind. Glenn Close. I don't think of Donna Summers in the 80s. I don't. I think of Donna Summers 70s. Yeah, I don't think of I definitely think of Tina Turner, but Tina Turner was old. I don't think of Brooke Shields was 70s too. I didn't get into Brooke Shields. When did Blue Lagoon come out? That's when I really fell in love with Brooke Shields. When did let me see. When did the movie Blue Lagoon come out?
In the United States of America, The Blue Lagoon was released on July 5th, 1980.
Boom. Yeah, it was released before I was born. But that's what I grew up knowing um from Brooke Shields. It wasn't about no well, I guess she was in the 70s. Well, she was so young and when she was doing that 70s stuff. I guess she was in the 80s. I don't know. She started to do more. She started to be big in the 80s, but her early career was in the 70s. Girl, just want to have fun. Cindy Lauper is cool. Also, her episode on PBS Ancestry Find Your Roots was great. Have you seen the Beetlejuice remake? I haven't, but the original was good, but it freaks me out when I was young. I actually didn't like the original of Beetlejuice, so I never liked it. So I never really wanted to go see the remake because I didn't like the original. I think 70s was Donna too. Yeah, the 70s feels Donna. Glenn. I don't remember. I don't know when I fell in love with Glenn. I like Glenn too, but she was too old. Winona Ryder is my top five. When did I start liking Winona Ryder? I started liking Winona Ryder in the 90s. When did she play in that Heather? That was 80s too. Heather. The Heathers, y'all remember that with Christian Slater and Winona Ryder? When did the movies Heathers come out?
In the United States of America, Heathers was released on March 31st, 1989.
Yeah, 1989. Yeah, that's when I fell in love with um Winona Ryder, the Heathers. And then what made me really fucking love her was Girl Interrupted. But yeah, my 80s girl definitely was Vanity Brooke Shields and Molly Ringwald. And Irene Cara. Did you watch Agatha at all? All along? No. Oh, I forgot about Bram Stoker's. Yes, I love Bram Stoker's. I did like that. Black girls. Who are some black girls actresses that y'all liked in the 80s? I liked Irene Cara. I already said her Vanity. Um, Radon Chong. I really like Radon Chong. That were like young, not old ones. Because when I think of old in the 80s, there was tons of older ones, but I'm talking about young ones, like that was in their 20s and teens. Radon Chong, Irene Cara, um, Vanity. Mm, let me think. Let me think. Yeah, that's about it. Mm. When y'all were younger and watching The Wizard of Oz, the original one, what character did y'all like the most? Like the Tin Man, Dorothy, Scarecrow, or Lion? In the original and in The Wiz, which was y'all favorite character that was rolling with Dorothy? Whoopi Goldberg was the only leading actress that was black in the 80s. No. We had Felicia Rashad. That was when she was like dominating sitcom TV with Cosby's. Um what the light skinned girl that played on I Wanna Get You Sucker? Put him up, put him up. I like Lena Horne the most. Um I meant for film. Films marketed around main female character stars. Yeah, I guess Whoopi would be if we're talking about just films. Oh, Miss Thing. No. Um, God, what's her name? Cicely Tyson. Cicely Tyson has some fire ass films. She had Miss Jane Pittman. She had Bustin' Loose might have been 70s. When did Bustin' Loose come out? But she had Miss Jane Pittman. Cicely Tyson had a couple of movies during that time. Nah, Pam Grier were in the 80s. I feel like Pam Grier was 60s, 70s, 70s. I don't think Pam Grier was 80s. But yeah, I think Whoopi was the most I think Whoopi was the most common. Jane Pittman came out in the 70s. I thought Jane Pittman came out in the 80s. Did it? When did the autobiography of Jane Pittman come out? Oh, it was the 70s too. Damn. Oh no, that was the book. When did the movie come? When did the movie come out? Oh no, that was it was in the 70s too. Oh, I thought that was the 80s. So maybe you're right. I guess because I guess the biggest film for black folks was Color Purple, and that was 84. So maybe you're right. Whoopi Goldberg. But I thought it was some more actresses that was out. I know, um, I know Irene Cara was doing movies after she did Fame. She did the movie with Tatum O'Neal, and they were the lead actresses in that. Um, I don't know who else. I can't think of anybody else. Yeah, I remember Whoopi, Irene. I'm trying to think. Um, that was a leading actress. It's like, oh, we're doing a movie. Um, yeah, the black girls weren't doing anything, any leading acting movies. It was really being very racist. 80s was a downtime. 90s was an uptick for sure for black actresses. All right, let me see what your answers was. So the original is the Lion. I thought he was hilarious. Um, the Scarecrow in the Wiz, the Tin Man in the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. I think my favorite on all of them was the Tin Man. My favorite on the original, and my favorite on the Wiz was the Tin Man. Slide some oil to me. Um, I think it's because I liked his song. The um If I Could Feel, that's one of my favorite musical songs anyway. If I could feel. Oh, let me show y'all my new Etro glasses. I bought some shoes today and I bought some glasses because I went gift shopping for my little nephews. And these are some burgundy Etro glasses. Aren't these fire? Hmm. I love these. They're super, super reflective. I love these. I love these. And then I got some shoes. I bought my nephew some Lego sets. Aren't the kids doing the Lego sets? He's 7, and I think that they are fire. I bought my brother some shoes. I bought him the same pair that I got, but in his size. 90s Jada, Nia Long. Nah, we had Nia Long was one of the leads. It was Jada, Nia Long, and it was some other people though too. It was some other people. That was a time when a lot, not tons and tons of black actors, but Nia Long and Jada was like the back and forth. It's going if you wanted a dark skinned girl, you was gonna go with Nia Long. If you was gonna go, you want a light skinned girl, you was gonna go with Jada. And yeah, Angela Bassett too. Um, Regina Vivica, Lynn Whitfield, yes, Regina King, Lynn Whitfield, yeah. We had a bunch of 90s black girls. Y'all tell me if y'all like these. I love them, so it don't matter what you hoes like. But they're Burberry. Yay. But they were on sale, because I couldn't afford them if they weren't on sale. But they are on sale, and I got me a pair and my brother a pair for all these Christmas. Because I want to get it out the way, because I'm not going to be wearing about no Christmas stuff. Aren't these cute? I love these. These are so cute. I love these. They're like a is this it kind of looks plaid a little bit, like plaid, but it's really just like it's like woven. I fucking love these. These are so dope. Look at the bottom. So cute. I love these. And they smell good. I love these. These are so fire. They're so fire. This is the best time to buy stuff like that are kind of like out of season, because they got like a 60% off sale at Saks. So I usually buy stuff off season because I'm only gonna buy it if I really love it, and I'm never gonna buy it on season because it'd be too expensive and not worth it. But they gave me 25% off, and it was already 25% off my whole order, and it was already 60% off just regular. So I got 60% off, and then the 25% off. So I was able to get mine and his for a cute price. And then I got my little nephew some Lego sets. And then I got me a bag. And I got these glasses. They weren't on sale, but they're glasses. They're not super high either. They're Etro glasses, so they're not like, you know, Valentino. Baby, there's some Valentino glasses that I want that I saw at Neiman's. I want them, but they want like $900 for them. I'm like, when are these gonna go on sale? Now this bag was on sale. Isn't this fabulous? I love this freaking bag. I love this. It is like I don't know. It's leather on here in the straps, but this is like a really sturdy ass burlap. And this is gonna be my travel tote because it fits my my laptop. So this is gonna be my new travel tote. And I need to buy a new fucking suitcase. So I'm gonna buy a suitcase that's this color so that it can go on top of my suitcase. And this is Coat Gaia. And this was like $200, I think. The original price was $569, but I got it on sale. It was 60% off, so it was like $2 something. Yeah, so fire. And look how much space is in there. It's lined, and this like it has like a hard bottom, so it's structured, so it stay put. And you can pull these in these right here, the handles, like they can either come out so you can have it like this, or you can push them in. And use this one. And they won't be hanging down, they'll just be in. Isn't that cute? I love this. This is fire. And it's like 2 something. So, new travel bag. And yeah, I love these. Love, 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 love. What else? What else new did I get? Trying to think of new stuff that I haven't shown y'all. Oh, I got a new hat. I wouldn't wear it with no hair, but what I love about this is it can be tall like this, like up top, but you actually can, because it's so wide, you can actually push this down over your ears. So like it was cold, it was like 20 something degrees in Albuquerque this past weekend. And I was like, oh, bitch, it's cold. And I could literally put this hat over my ears and put my glasses on, honey. Doo doo doo. I love this. Love the hat. Sickening. But yeah, that's all that I got from the fall sale. I haven't got anything. I got another hat, but that's still in my suitcase. Y'all probably see that some other time, but it's fire too. It's like it's not a cowboy hat. It's not a cowboy hat. It's like but it has a wide brim, but it's like a donut. But it comes up into a point like a cowboy hat on the top, but around the brim it's like a donut, like all the way around. Y'all see it. It's black, it's fire. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Y'all end up seeing it. I would love that hat in magenta and mustard. Yeah, that would be fire, wouldn't it? I just don't have that many dark hats, so I wanted to get like a navy blue. So, but yeah, this would be fire in like a mustard. Ooh, yes, that mustard would be fire. I don't know if I would like it in magenta because I don't really wear magenta, but a mustard. Ooh, you onto something with that? That would be fire. Yeah, that would be nice. Something to think about. I have a mustard hat, but it's like a little page boy. But yeah, I think you onto something. Got me thinking about getting a mustard hat. I have a yellow hat, but it's not mustard. It's yellow, yellow. It's like goldenrod. Very Dick Tracy. I love that. But very goldenrod. But a mustard. I'm trying to think of what shape I would get in a mustard. Yeah, because the mustard will rock with this really good. With some red hair. That's a good idea. Oh, this wig. But all right, y'all. That is all I have to say about Wicked. It was good. Go see it. They ate, left no crumbs, no notes. The fashion was great. The fact that she had micro braids was dope to me. That was black as fuck. Her micro braids looked sickening. It was a wig, but it looked good. It looked like micro braids. Um, and yeah, go see it. Go check it out. I loved it. I also want y'all to watch Prophecy. I need y'all to watch Prophecy, Doom Prophecy. So if I want to talk about it, y'all know what I'm talking about. Watch Doom Prophecy. It's something else. Oh, Piano Lesson. I'm going to do a review of Piano Lesson. Juror number 2 comes out of Mac. What's that about? Piano Lesson comes out today on Netflix. Let me see. I think Piano Lesson comes out today, so I'm probably gonna review Piano Lesson. I don't know. Yeah, it comes out today, so I'm probably gonna watch it when we get off of here. What app is Dune Prophecy on? Dune, Dune. Um, Dune Prophecy is on HBO. Jury number 2. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Max. I might get into it. I don't know. I'm definitely watching Piano Lesson. Um I'm rewatching Last Dragon. I haven't seen that since I was young, and it is problematic as hell. But have y'all been watching Preacher on from AMC? It's on Netflix now. Um Trying to think of what else. Oh, the new season of Empress I want to watch. Piano Lesson. Who else? Mm. About a guy on a jury for a crime he thinks he committed. Jury number 2 the actual juror thinks he committed the crime. That's interesting. Oh, that sounds like an interesting plot. Um, but yes. Oh, have y'all been watching Penguin? Y'all need to watch Penguin too. Y'all better be watching Penguin. Penguin is good. Penguin needs to win all the fucking Emmys. Cause I haven't been talking to y'all because I ain't been on live in a minute. But Penguin needs to win all the Emmys for acting. For Penguin is written well. The costumes, it needs to drag any show on the Emmys, period, across the board. Colin Farrell is killing Penguin. Whoever that girl is killing um what's her name? Hangman. Um, honey, she's killing her role. And you know who else is killing the role? Miss Thing from Broadway, who plays his mama, killing the role. Didn't even need Batman. Out of here. Out of here. This has been the best. This has been the best Batman themed offering since I love Joker. Joker number 1. This number 2 with Lady Gaga ball it up, throw in the trash. But Joker number 1, Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job in his acting of the Joker. I didn't really like the plot and writing. It was like, oh, okay, interesting. But him acting killed it. But I'm talking about overall acting, playing the parts, and doing this good stuff. We ain't had a good Batman theme since Heath Ledger. To me, since Dark Knight, I felt like Dark Knight was eaten. But yeah, I don't feel like I was into it in the way that I'm into Penguin. Penguin is fucking eating. Penguin is everything. Y'all need to watch Penguin. I love Penguin. That's on HBO Max too. Just got my turkey from HEB, ordered delivery tonight. So I'm about to do a little early prep a bit, watch some piano lesson. Yes, I'm about to watch a piano lesson. Why are you doing early Thanksgiving? You got a whole ain't nothing you cooking now that's gonna be good in a week. Oh. That makes sense. Yeah, make sure y'all watch Penguin. I'm about to watch Piano Fight. I will see y'all next week and talk to y'all later. I need to I'm kind of hungry. What time is it? 10:40? I need something to eat. What do I feel like cooking? Or do I feel like Uber eating something? I don't know. Anyway, love y'all. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk with y'all later. Bye. Make sure y'all go see Wicked.